Right guys, what's happening? So we're just going to go through a couple of things in relation to the front squat, because I know this is something I've got a lot of questions about recently, especially because I've been doing some front squats in my own training and stuff like that. And there are a few different ways you can actually grip the bar, because this is the thing that presents the biggest obstacle for people. Okay, so there's three main grips that you can actually use. The first one is the classic Olympic grip, where you put 2 or 3 fingers on the bar just outside shoulder width, and then you come in under and go like that. But what we must understand about that is that you have to have a prerequisite level of mobility to actually get there. And what I like to see people able to do before they use that grip is that they're able to actively get into that position, so at the shoulder joint, so you have enough rotation to get there, and then that you're able to touch your shoulders with the backs of your fingers. Okay, if you can't touch your shoulders with the backs of your fingers, then that tells me that you can't actually get into that position actively. And what we have to remember is that if we're using heavy loads here and then we're just forcing this position, when we start to struggle, then that bar and that weight is then pushing us into the extremes of our range at either the wrist joint, the elbow joint, the radioulnar joint there, or the shoulder joint. And over time, this can cause some issues. So especially if you're someone that does already have pain in your shoulders, your elbows, or things like that, and you're looking to just get leg development out of the front squat, then it may be worth considering one of the other grips. The other one that a lot of people will use is the cross arm grip, and this is typically bodybuilders that will use this, and this is quite easy if you're a bodybuilder, because what you'll have is a lot of muscle on the top of the shoulder there to actually hold that bar in place, so you don't really need to have as much mobility because you're kind of relying on your musculature to actually hold the bar there, whereas most people aren't really able to do that. So what I like to get people to do is to actually kind of find a nice happy medium. So if any of you do have lifting straps, what you can do is open them up like that, wrap them around the bar, and in a similar position to where you would put your fingers if you were doing the Olympic grip. And basically what this allows you to do is kind of perform that stable grip that the Olympic, much like the Olympic grip, but essentially what you're doing is not demanding the same level of mobility. Okay, so if we look at what we're doing, we're kind of going to grab somewhere on the strap just to see how it feels first. You wrap the hand around. I like it to do it like this. You can just hold them without wrapping it around, and then you come in forward like that, much like you would the Olympic grip. Okay, but the only difference here is you'll see that my wrist position is neutral as opposed to being pronated like that, so we don't need as much mobility at the radioulnar joint or the elbow joint, and as a result we don't need to get into as extreme of a range of the shoulder. Okay, and then after that, the main problem that people have is actually keeping the bar in place, because on the majority of the exercises that we do, we're always telling people, oh, pinch the shoulder blades back, you know, so you're always thinking about getting the shoulder blades back, locking them into place on your back squats and stuff like that, whereas in the front squat we actually want to do the opposite. So we want the shoulders to be protracted, and what that looks like is if your hands are out in front of you, rather than the shoulder blades being pinched back, they're actually out in front. What this does is creates more of a shelf across your upper chest, just in front of your clavicles, so the bar isn't then choking you quite as much when you are holding it. So we put it all together, we've got a nice comfy grip. When I get to here, I'm letting that shelf come out, keeping my chest up, and happy squatting.